Welcome back to our continuing series of looking at movement sophistication. Incorporating movement sophistication into our training excites the nervous system. It gets it all fired up and excited about the new range of motion that it's going through. This makes training exciting. This makes training fun. This makes training something to look forward to. Because instead of, okay, I've hit 100 push-ups, 50 more. All right, I've hit 150 push-ups, now 200. All right, you're not only, your brain goes numb. Not only does your brain go numb and your nervous system goes to sleep and it's bored, which is one of the biggest obstacles to people maintaining their training, we also get overuse injuries from doing the exact same movement over and over and over and over again because our body adapts, and it adapts in such a way to try and make it easier to do all of those movements over and over and over again. Part of that adaptation is beneficial. Part of that adaptation is not. So we're looking at incorporating movement sophistication so that once you've hit a certain level with a certain level of movement, then you can move on to a new level, which then gets all the little neurons firing throughout your system and gets you excited about, oh, okay, here's a new skill. It also takes the mental game of trying to, of having to do work into being able to focus on doing a skill. This round, we're going to look at circular strength training's leg swoop. For this first week, we're going to start from a quad hop position. I'm not going to get too much into quad hops. Link down below with the tutorial to that one. Hands at a 45, elbows out, on the ball of foot, knees out at a 45. And what we're going to do from here is we're going to take rear foot, one of the rear foots, and we're going to put it on the back of the ankle of the planted foot. So you're going to come through, up, plant, and then we're going to drop the knee through. We're going to sit through. We're going to take the knee and sit it through and basically drop our hip down. Now, to start, as you're beginning, yes, you can raise your hand, but what we want is eventually to keep both hands on the floor so that we get a true rotation from hip to thoracic. Because if I come up and my hand's coming off and I drop my hip, it would be very easy not to rotate in the torso and just rotate all in the shoulder, which this is eventually going to cause damage. It's going to hurt. So what you want to do is make sure planted hands, and the hand that has the most support on, packed shoulder. So you're engaging your lats and your chest. Packed shoulder, and you're dropping the hip. But what the hip does, the dropping of the hip, you're not over-rotating in the torso. In the shoulder. So through, other side, and switch from one side to the other. Make sure on the back foot, the foot that's planted, that you are pivoting on the ball of foot. Don't try and keep it planted in the same place. You're going to get torsion on your ankle and your knee. That's not going to be so pretty. On the back, and it's the foot that is going on the back of the ankle, that is the knee that's going to sit through. So don't make the mistake of coming on the back and then trying to sit the knee of the planted foot down. So again, as you come through, you want to make sure that your hip does not sit on the ground. As soon as you sit on the ground, you disconnect hand from foot, from rear foot. We disconnect the circuit, and then once you disconnect the circuit, it disengages the core. And we want the core to stay activated because the core is what's connecting everything we're doing from hand to foot, making this full body. And as you're going through, exhale. We're getting the rotation in the torso. It's like the wringing out of a cloth, wringing out of our lungs. Pressing that air out. Take it from a different angle. All right, so that's a sit-through knee from CST's leg swoop. Start with that this week, work with it. It's going to open up the rotation in the torso, which is something that is generally very tight for us, and get you moving so that we can then incorporate the rest of the leg. All right, take care. See you next week.